Graham.
Ask me that question.
Do you think that it was obliterated? Was this
Senator just
Yeah,
said it was
yeah.
setback months. He just said it was setback months, not years.
No, I think years. So just listen to me. Operation Midnight Hammer was brilliant, it was bold, it was necessary, and it was effective. They blew these places up in a major league way. Major league setback, years, not months. If you don't, and he just said he wouldn't have done it. You know, I like Senator Murphy, but that's absurd. You got a chance to set back the nuclear ambitions of a religious Nazi by years, and you don't take it. That's how World War II starts. World War III starts. Learn from World War II. You appease religious Nazis, you're going to get more religious Nazi behavior. So I think it's absurd that any member of Senate would say, and you got a right to say it, that this wasn't necessary. You're not going to get religious Nazis to give up their nuclear ambitions by talking to them. You have to weaken them. You have to put them on their knees. And will you ever get there through negotiations? I don't know, but I'm willing to try. Obliterated is a good word for me to use. I can tell people in South Carolina, nobody is going to work in these 3 sites anytime soon. They're not going to get into them anytime soon. Their operational capability was obliterated. There's nobody working there tonight. It was highly effective.
No further strikes?
There's no reason to hit those sites anytime soon. None.
In the coming years, you said it's setback years. Does that mean in the coming years there will need to be more U.S. military action to keep it down?
As long as Iran desires to kill all the Jews and us, you got to put that on the table. So the question for all of us is, that happened, what's next? Negotiations. I don't mind negotiating with the Iranians, but I want to start with a simple proposition. Before I sit down with you to negotiate, will you acknowledge Israel has a right to exist as a Jewish state? You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to like them. You can hate their policies. But will you abandon your stated goal of destroying the Jewish state? If they say no, you shouldn't sit at the table. So here's the question for the world right now. What's next? Negotiations. If they want it, change their policy of trying to destroy Israel and come after us and purify Islam, what have you accomplished in the long run? You set them back, but I'm looking to change their behavior. Not invade Iran, not to send American troops on the ground, but to insist that the Ayatollah and his henchmen from this day forward reject the idea that they will destroy Israel no matter what the negotiations hold. Why would you ask the Jewish state, 80 years after the Holocaust, the 80th anniversary was the end of the Nazi regime in May, to sit down with a bunch of people who want to kill you no matter what you do? So I talked to Rubio, I talked to the administration. Try diplomacy, but if you don't get a commitment up front that Iran from this day forward abandons its stated desire to wipe out Israel, if they're not willing to recognize the Jewish state, you're wasting your time.
Senator Murphy was also just critical of the fact that the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, was not part of this briefing. Did that impact?
Not at all. I mean, listen,
has?
you know, I tried. Senator Murphy opposed pre-invasion sanctions to Russia. I've never seen any action by this man that would stop a bad guy from doing anything. I begged him to get on a sanctions bill to tell Putin what happens if you invade. That was too provocative. So it doesn't matter what Senator Murphy thinks about me or I think about him. Here's where we're at. The program was obliterated at those 3 sites, but they still have ambitions. I don't know where the 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium exists, but it wasn't part of the target set.
Are you concerned that in light of that several years, I mean, when the administration is saying it's obliterated, it suggests that they're not able to build a weapon. But you're saying in several years, perhaps they'll be able to.
That's what I'm saying. They're obliterated today, but you can reconstitute it. Isn't the real question, have we obliterated their desire to have a nuclear weapon? As long as they desire one, as long as they want to kill all the Jews, you still have a problem on your hands. I don't want people to think that the site wasn't severely damaged or obliterated. It was. But having said that, I don't want people to think the problem is over, because it's not. They're going to keep trying this as long as they change, until they change their stated goal. Now, will they ever do that? I don't know.
There's reporting that the United States, that the Trump administration is planning on briefing Congress less in light of this.
Ratcliffe said no one's told him that. No one suggested that. It was a good briefing. I don't know why Gabbard was there, but it was a really good briefing.
To the point that the director of national intelligence wasn't there, are you concerned that President Trump specifically and the administration more broadly are not trusting the advice and counsel they're giving?
That to me, I'm fine with her. I wanted Ratcliffe. I don't care who's the director of national intelligence. I want to hear from the CIA. They're the ones with the assets.
Does President Trump trust the CIA right now?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest, lack of a better term, winners in this whole deal is Ratcliffe. I mean, the president has high confidence in Ratcliffe. I do too. But I think all of them perform well. But the ultimate question is, let's say it's 2 years. Let's say it's 10 years. Let's say it's pick a number. The threat still exists as long as Iran, as a nation state, desires to purify Islam, destroy the Jewish state, and come after us. That's what people need to remember. I'm not taking away anything from this operation. I applaud it. I think the people who did it are heroes. But I don't want the American people to think that this is over. It is not over until the regime decides to change their attitude and their behavior. Now, are they weakened? Yes. Can negotiations work? Maybe. They've never been this weak. They've never been on their back heels. So if there's ever a time to get a deal with Iran, it's right now. But here's what I think. There's probably never going to be a deal with these people because they'll never give up their ambitions to destroy Israel, purify Islam, and come after us.
Senator, does this mean you're not particularly confident that a ceasefire will hold?
All right, just listening in there to Lindsey Graham as well as Chris Murphy, the Democrat and Republican respectively, talking about that classified briefing on the U.S. airstrikes in Iran and, of course, the lack of presence of the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. You also heard there saying that they may have obliterated the sites in Iran, but according to Lindsey Graham, it would be difficult to obliterate the ambitions for a nuclear weapon.